All right, so I'll open it up to you guys, and you can start with Coach Englund, and then Maizie will join us when she gets over to Coach's office.
Good morning.
Morning, Coach. I guess it's finally game week. What's the feeling like with your team at this point?
Well, it's been 50 practices tomorrow without a scrimmage or a game. So the first thing I have to say is just a tremendous shout out to my team and my staff for what we've done in 50 practices. It's hard to stay motivated and to see the goal when you go 50 straight practices without being able to play against someone else. And so that's the first thing for us, is that we've stuck together. We've really improved a lot as a team during that time, and have just gotten to the point now where we're ready to go. And obviously it's nice to start at home to begin with. Being a McPhee and still getting used to that, that also is, for us, nice at least that we're going to be on our campus to start. But it's a different type of game week, but it's super exciting to be able to finally start to compete.
You think you'll ever have an easier time getting a team motivated for a game than for this one?
It's just, for everyone, it's such a crazy, you just continue to pivot and change and move forward and adapt. And so the motivation side of it is, I think, taking care of itself because everybody's so excited to play. We've done a couple of inter squad scrimmages, but you just can't duplicate what it's like to finally put the uniform on, especially for my freshmen. To have the opportunity to finally wear that uniform is pretty exciting. And to start off with lacrosse, obviously the playoff game last year that we beat them in the semi was probably one of the most exciting games I've ever been a part of as a coach. And so to turn around and to play that team again, that also is pretty exciting just for the two teams to match up again.
Coach, we don't know.
Good.
We don't know what everyone looks like from UW-Eau or vice versa, right? With the freshmen and no exhibition or tape to study. But what do you think you're going to see from UW-Eau? Is it going to be very similar from that playoff game last year?
Well, I think both teams graduated pretty special players. Lacrosse graduated 2 perimeter players that were phenomenal, that just challenged us during their 4 years, and total respect to those players and to that staff. Obviously, we graduated 4 seniors, and Anna Grasskamp and Hallie Hepner, who we leaned hard on in that game in particular. So I think the two teams will look different, but we also are really different in our personnel as well, as that lacrosse really returns their inside game. And they're big. They're 6'2" on the inside. That's where we've graduated and, have some younger players that are going to have to step up right away. However, our perimeter play is pretty experienced with Maizie and Jessie Rudin and Ellie Clayton and a lot of players that played quite a bit last year for us. So it'll be interesting to see the two teams, the matchups. Obviously, lacrosse likes to play a slower style. We like to push it and run. So the style of play that we're going to play this year, we have to have a lot of depth. We've got to stay healthy. And, you have that 1-day recovery in between the 2 games. And so for our style, it is especially going to be challenging just because we want to push the ball here for the next month.
You kind of touched on it, but how much of a mystery is this first game? And this, how much does it change after this first game that then you guys will have tape on people?
I was just talking to Coach Seiberling about it. We were just talking about it's going to be a real interesting month of that. You get to play a team and then you have a day to make adjustments and then turn around and play them again. And I find that kind of intriguing. I think that for the players, it'll also be really good for them because we put a lot of time into our scout. We put a lot of time into matchups. We put a lot of time into teaching. And so that 1-day turnaround is kind of exciting as a coach and as a teacher because you get to help your team improve and then go play again. But the 1-day turnaround is also, I think, challenging for the players just physically. And what a lot of people don't realize is that we start school today. We're back in school full time. This is spring semester. This is the first day of classes for all of our players. So it's not only the first week of playing, it's the first week of going back, and classes that some are in person, some are hybrid. It's an exciting time for the players, but it's a lot coming at them at once. So we've got to balance all those things and make this as simple as possible and as exciting as it can be for our players.
Coach, if I could ask about adjusting to McPhee, I know they were adding shot clocks and painting some of the lines to make it more visible. How has adjusting to McPhee, just practices and getting ready for a game, how has that gone?
It's gone. We've been up there long enough where the players have had an opportunity to get a feel for things, the shot clocks and things. That's still, we're getting adjusted to that. We'll have an opportunity for a couple of days to be able to get to adjust to those things. But I have to give a credit and a shout out to our administration and all the coaches working together up in McPhee. We're all up there together now, and you've got gym A, B, and C, and you've got different teams rotating in and out, and recreation and kinesiology, and everybody has pitched in together and is doing what's best for the student athletes, and not just our own, but everyone. So it really is a sign of what it's like in these times that you take care of each other. And to be honest with you, the thing that has been the best for me as a coach has been to be able to see all my colleagues. There's great things about playing in Zorn, but sometimes you don't get to see the rest of the coaches. And the rest of the coaches have stopped in. They've taken an interest in my team. They're excited that we're going to play. And that's that blue gold spirit that I love being a part of as long as I've been here, is that we've got longtime coaches that really care about all the student athletes, and administrators behind the scenes that are continually trying to help and change and make sure that we can pull this off. So, it's going to be different, but at the same time, basketball is basketball. We've all played in a lot of different courts. You adjust and you roll with it. So I think for my players between AAU, high school, college, baskets are the same, and you just get ready to play.
How much of a release has this been for the players? I mean, knowing like we're doing this right now, people aren't being able to see each other, but to get out there on the court, how much do you think that is maybe mentally just help them out a little bit?
I cannot tell you how important that has been for my players. And to be honest, for the coaches and for our staff. It's the best 2 hours of the day. I look forward to it. I mean, I've always loved my teams, but I can genuinely, authentically say that I absolutely love this group. We've spent so much time together, and we've endured. We've gotten through a lot, and now we're just ready to compete. But I can tell you that it's been important, and playing sports and that team atmosphere, even though we haven't been able to compete up until this point, you can see the look on the players' faces every day when they come in, that the gym and basketball and their teammates and their coaches are super important right now. I think it's changed all of us, and I've coached for a long time. It's changed me. I've really tried to make this just a great experience for my players, that every day when they come in, that they have some joy in their day. And that this month, that's what we're going to do. And to be honest with you, my 3 seniors, Maizie and Katie and Caitlin, that's what's most important to me, that they get an opportunity to play, that they have an opportunity for a championship experience, and that we get back to that point that we were at last year in that championship game, and we take the next step forward.
How are you feeling about what it's going to be like to play in front of no fans?
Well, I basically have to say that's the way it is, and it's safe, and that's what's most important. But I think here, especially, we take how much we love our fans to a whole nother level. Between our season ticket holders, Fast Break Club, faculty that come to our games, the alumni, the kids from camp, that's a big part of the experience. And we're going to miss that a lot, but you have to, again, say, okay, what's going to be most safe for our players, for the opposing team? And I agree with that. I think that our sports information staff is going to do a great job with the live streams and that people will still be a part of the experience, but it is going to be a lot different to not be in Zorn and also not to have our fans there and our pep band. There's usually 100 kids playing in the band across me that are having a great time too, and they're a big part of our family. And so we're going to miss them as well, but it is what it is this year. And so we're just going to focus on the joy of being able to compete for sure. I have Maizie here. Is anybody, anything else from me? Otherwise I can bring over Maizie and turn it over to her. Okay, great. Thanks for your time. Everybody stay safe. Good to see you all.
Thanks, Coach.
Thanks, you too.
Hi.
Hello.
Hello.
Well, Maizie, how's it feel to be in game week? I mean, to know that there's going to be two games this week now.
We are so excited. It's been a long time coming. We've almost gotten in 50 practices before we've played a single game. So we're all really ready, really excited, and we just can't believe it's finally here.
Was there ever a point that you can think of where you thought maybe this wouldn't happen?
Definitely. I think right around Thanksgiving time, we had an inter-squad scrimmage, and that day they were making a decision about whether or not we'd be able to compete against other teams in the WIAC. And I think as seniors, we all kind of met and we weren't sure what the final decision would be. So we had to kind of accept either way, but we were so excited when they prolonged the decision and eventually decided to allow us to compete. So yeah, we kept up the faith, but there was definitely a time when I wasn't sure whether or not I'd get to play again.
I talked to Coach about this too, but how much of a release for you guys has this been? Just getting out on the court, being able to see people, and obviously we're doing things like this, and people don't really get to see that many people nowadays.
It's been so refreshing. I mean, when classes went online, I think we were all a little bit worried about not getting to see our friends, but having that team around all of the time, getting to go to practice every day has been really important, not only for us competitively, but for our mental health. Seeing our friends has been really helpful during this time.
Maizie, when you look at UWL or what you think they're going to look like, epic battle last year, but some girls have graduated. What are you expecting Wednesday and Friday to be like against the Eagles?
I think it will be a very competitive game. Obviously, they graduated some key perimeter players, but they come back with a big inside presence. They're really tall, but I think we have the speed and the ability to push the ball. So I think it will be a competitive match. I think our teams are quite different, so I'm really excited to see how we compete, and hopefully we pull out the win.
Have you been just looking at game tape from last year and trying to figure out what their strengths are? Is that really the only thing you can go off is last year's game tape?
Pretty much, yeah. I mean, we do know who graduated and who's coming back, so we can see that. But other than that, we don't have any film from this year, so we kind of have to go off of what they've done in the past and plan accordingly.
One of those things where you guys are going to have to kind of gauge your enthusiasm, not go out there and try to play 150%, like that first 2 minutes you're out on the floor.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to have to conserve our energy and kind of take it quarter by quarter.
I guess, is there anything you're excited or nervous about going into this? Like just the whole process of coming back into playing?
I'd say primarily I'm excited. I mean, as a senior, it means the world to us to be able to compete one last time, especially in a blue-gold uniform. A little bit nervous. I mean, it has been a while since we've played games, but I think we're all ready. We've been scrimmaging every day, and mainly the excitement is there. I'm just really grateful to have the opportunity to play as a senior this year.
Hey, Maizie, perimeter play is a strength of this team. Can you just tell me why that is, why you are so confident with that perimeter experience and what that could mean for the offense?
I mean, last year we had Hallie Hepner and Anna Grasskamp, and they were a huge inside presence for us. We do still have Katie Essen returning in the inside, and we have some younger post players that will help us as well. but we definitely have to look into our guard play a little bit more this year and rely on that. We have a lot of young guards, and I think everybody's very capable. We get to the rim a lot better this year, I think, and we have a lot of great outside shooters. And I think our team chemistry is there.
It seems like a long time ago, but the way last season ended, being basically one shot away, has that been extra motivation?
Definitely. Yeah. All off season, I think we all thought about that bitter ending. I mean, ending second in the WIAC is pretty good, but as we always say, pretty good is pretty bad. So we're really excited to hopefully get back there and end up on top this time.
I'm curious your thoughts on the new format for the season with, you know, the home and home series and the 2 days, 2 games in 3 days, excuse me. Do you like that kind of a quick turnaround?
And I haven't experienced it yet, so I'm not exactly sure, but I do. I think it will be nice to play the same team twice in a row. It will make the day between a little bit easier. We'll just have to make a few slight adjustments and then go from there. But I do think that the turnaround, with it being just 2 days between games, it will be tough, but if we recover well and keep that competitive mindset, I think we'll do just fine.
Any other questions for me? I think we're good. All right.
Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Guys. All right.